Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. And for all of our entrepreneurs out there, 2024 is the year where we help you sell your vision. I'm Dr. Jacalyn, and our show today is the Hot Topic Show. We have a fabulous guest joining us from New York, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the work she's doing and the contribution she's made to this book, Creative Hearts Awakening. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Beth Lauren. Beth is someone who is out there as a role model and a leader and inspiring other women across the world. She has gone through her own journey. And of course, during this time, she has had her own creative heart awaken. And now she is out there supporting and cheering on other women, lending a hand to lift them up, especially when it comes to the technology space. And she also has an event that's coming up in November. We're going to hear more about that and the business that she founded. Let's welcome Beth Lauren to the program. Hello, Beth. How are you?
I'm great. So happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Jacalyn.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I love having other women on the program, especially women who are very open about what they've been through and very interested in helping other people. And when it comes to Creative Hearts and Creative Hearts Awakening, that's what it's all about. So, Beth, when did you realize that you were in a place in your life where it might not have been exactly what you wanted to do or where you wanted to be?
So about 11 years ago, I really was suffering from PTSD. I'm an assault survivor, and I really hadn't dealt with it for decades. And I really realized I wasn't showing up for myself, for my relationships, for my business fully. And I really was struggling because of the trauma that I was experiencing. So I really took myself in hand, got the right therapies, learned about Ayurveda and meditation and tapping, really sought out the modalities that worked for me, and then really started to get serious about my business. And I think, committing to my mental health and to my physical health has really allowed me to show up fully as an entrepreneur and to connect fully with people. And I think that was a problem too. I really was not, putting myself out there in my business. And I think that's something that women struggle with a lot. It doesn't have to be because they've suffered from a trauma. It can just be, self-esteem or just fear of putting ourselves out there, fear of putting our brands out there, fear of being judged. And I think at that moment, I really learned, what was important and how to take care of myself and how to stand up and be proud of the brands that I was building.
Well, first of all, thank you for your transparency and being so honest and candid. I'm sorry that you went through what you went through. And I really appreciate the fact that you're here and you're willing to talk about it. So it sounds like there was a dark period of time in your life, and it was impacting probably every area. And the word that I heard over and over was fear. And I think as women, I can completely relate to what you're saying. We don't know our own value. And then especially if we have to go up against an established male, for example, I'm actually doing that right now. It's kind of like, oh, no, you're not pushing me around. But yet we have been pushed around for a long time. So you realize you weren't where you wanted to be. And then your creative heart awakened. There was a knocking, a calling. Do you remember the moment?
I really do. And just to say, like, I was working on a very creative project. I was working on a film that, a script that I wrote, that I was going to direct, that I was producing. We unfortunately were swindled, and it's a whole nother story. But I was really in creative fields, and I really had to put that aside to get my life back together. And I really realized, that no matter what my source of income was or what I was doing in my heart, I was very creative. I was multi-passionate about a lot of different things, and that I could use that to my advantage to advance my businesses.
And I'm so glad that this happened for you, because some people are not there yet. Some people are still in the darkness. Some people, they realize that there's some creative skills or passion that's there, but they can't unlock it. So I understand that you've also written a memoir. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Thank you for mentioning. It's called Reeling, Misadventures in Movie Making, Money, and Love. And it's really about what happened to me when everything fell apart, when we found out we're being swindled. And the swindling really unlocked the PTSD that was inside of me. And really, the memoir is really interesting. I've had a few people interested in making it into a film because it has a dual narrative. It's the actual story of what happened to me, like a straight memoir, and then it has other chapters that are about like my movie version of what of what might have happened. Like, things worked out in a Hollywood way. So, like I go after the bad guy, I end up with the guy that I loved. And like, so it's kind of like the reality and then the movie version. But then, the wind up really is, and I don't think I'm ruining this for anyone, is that it's okay. It's okay if you don't get the Hollywood ending, as long as you're happy within yourself.
That was so beautifully put. And we're showing on the screen for our audio audience that can't see this. You can go over to Amazon and you can actually find Reeling, Misadventures in Movie Making, Money, and Love. So please go over and pick up your copy. Something that you just mentioned about that Hollywood ending, it just brings to mind, because we're talking about women today, supporting women. We're going to be talking about your event. When I go to Instagram, and we're streaming on Instagram, so hello to everybody who's there as well, I see a lot of women scantily dressed. They look gorgeous. They're always like, you see them over and over again. And for the rest of us, it's kind of like, wow, I feel really bad. How do we bring out the best of ourselves and yet at the same time lift up other women without us being like, oh, look at me, I'm this and I'm that, and I own this and I own that?
Great question. I mean, I think we know now that so much of social media is veneer. So whether you've spent hours, crafting your look, or you use, various tools to, enhance how you look artificially online, it really is veneer. And I think when we show up authentically, yeah, I put on makeup today for this conversation, but, I spent 10 minutes on it. But when we show up authentically and really share our stories, and really connect with people to the truth of who we are and what we're putting out into the world, I think it doesn't matter how we're dressed and how we look. And I think some people are getting more comfortable with not having to look a certain way, adhere to a certain standard of beauty. I think we've tried to be more embracing of the full spectrum of size, race, color, and really look at it. We're all beautiful in our own way. And I think, again, that goes back to being authentically ourselves. And I think when you're authentic and you really present who you are, I think people really respond to that energy.
I love that. Absolutely. I agree with you. And I have an expression somebody shared with me. It's when you're comfortable in your own skin. And that hasn't always been the case for all of us. I know right before here, I taught a spin class and I went there with no makeup because I thought, why am I going to take the makeup off, put the makeup? It doesn't make sense. 2 showers in, and I'm not wearing foundation right now. And I'm okay with it because it is what it is. But we get so tied to looking a certain way and being a certain way. And when it comes to being an entrepreneur, I think sometimes this gets in the way of being successful. So tell us about your journey as an entrepreneur. Where were you and where are you?
Well, many pivots. Pivot was kind of my word of 2023 because I started down one path, realized it really wasn't something I was happy about. spent a lot of time, money, energy, and something I thought I wanted to build, and realized that I wanted to really focus on my event and content business, which is the WellTech World Summit. And I had two competing businesses, and that really wasn't working for me. So I really realized, what are my strengths, and also what are the things I love to do? So I'm going to show up every day to do them. And, I love to write. I was a screenwriter and, a fiction writer for years. And I love events. I love bringing people together. I love creating, opportunities for people to speak. I love learning and hearing about latest trends in technology and in the wellness space. I'm also trained in Ayurveda. So I'm always really interested in bringing that information to people and sharing that and learning about other complementary modalities. And so when I conceived this event, the WellTech World Summit, it was a way to bring together solo practitioners and small business owners in the wellness space to learn about tech. And most people already know, and especially during the pandemic, no matter what you did as modality, you couldn't see clients in person. So you had to use some kind of tech. But I really saw that there was a void in the market for an event where people could really learn how to scale their business using technology. So we did the first event last March online. It was 2 full days. We did group meditation and group yoga. And then we had incredible panels, really talking about the full spectrum of wellness and technology. And we had 1,900 people come to the site, which is really exciting. We had really, really brilliant speakers. If people want to access 2023 for the low price of $9.99, they can watch, 40 speakers, 22 sessions, and get some great yoga and meditation. And we're doing it live in London, which was the original plan, in 2024, in November. We just picked the date, November 19th. I just yesterday pretty much secured a venue in central London. So that's to be announced. And we are just starting to put it all together. I'm really excited. We're going to expand it so that it's not just panels and yoga and meditation, but we're going to have a full-on exhibitors hall and a VIP cocktail event. And then one of my brilliant speakers said to me, you should do a woman-focused event the night before. So I think we're going to do that too. So lots of things in the planning. I've had tremendous interest and support. And so I'm really excited. And we're going to put early bird tickets on sale in February.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Super. Fantastic. I just want to say to our audio audience, we are looking at welltechworldsummit.com. You can see, well, I guess you can't see because you are not able to see, but I will give you the website, spelled it out at the end of the show. Beth, I want people to know they have no idea when they show up at an event, typically, unless they have event experience, what goes into putting together an event. I sold meetings and events for years, and there is so much goes on behind the scenes. You had 1,900 people turn. That's amazing for your first event. What made you pick England for this event?
So just to tell you, not to bore you too much with the journey, but the original plan was to do it in Ireland. I lived in Ireland for 2 years, and there's a huge tech community. It's really a tech hub for the EU, and because it's kind of my spiritual and adopted home, and there's so many tech companies. We originally were going to do it there, and we just couldn't get traction the first year, honestly, to put it on. And so someone suggested we do to me, who was in my life, who suggested we do it in the UK. And I really looked at the UK market, and really it's like 4th in the world, I think, behind the US and Japan and I forget another country, in terms of wellness economy. It's growing by leaps and bounds. And I really looked at where a lot of the speakers I was talking to came from, and they were from the UK. And so it made sense for me to do it there. And so far, the response has been overwhelming. So I'm really excited to do it in person. And to answer your question about what goes in, even doing it virtually last year, it was a really heavy lift, just to get the tech right and to promote it. But, an in-person event is, as is like, so many, it's the speakers, it's the logistics, it's the catering, it's the sponsors, it's the exhibitor, it's making sure the exhibitors have the materials they need, it's making sure the speakers, meet beforehand and we discuss content, it's figuring out the streaming component. It's all of that. And speaking to sponsors really to help with the financing is really a big piece of it too.
I am going to second that and say it is a beast. It is enormous. And you never know what can happen at an event. Events I sold, we had a murder. I mean, I could go on and on, but you need disaster recovery and if it's outside with the weather. So kudos to you for doing this. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit. We had just briefly touched on this backstage about women and technology. And I know myself that I love technology. I can't get enough of it, but I don't have a lot of friends who are feeling the same way. So, do you have a passion for technology? And if so, when did you realize it?
So, I would say I am like every day, like I marvel at like just health problems, or minor things where tech has shown up and made my life better. So in that way, I am definitely a consumer, but in terms of being what you call a tech person, I wouldn't consider myself that. One of the pivots I did in my business last year was I was working on an app, which I abandoned for a couple of reasons. And one of them was that, I'm not really someone who is really interested in scaling my own tech product, but, my event is tech based, but it's really about helping other people to learn how to grow their business. And even in the looking for speakers for 2023, like I came across products that were so impactful for me. I was going through menopause and there were incredible products on the market and we had incredible speakers who have platforms that are like treasure trove of information and community to deal with various symptoms and to connect you with the right practitioners. There's someone else who has a device that's incredible for, all kinds of like physical symptoms that we have going through menopause. And these women are just leaders and moving the needle for women in technology. And I'm hoping some of them will speak again or be involved as exhibitors this year. So I have a hunger and an interest in getting the information and getting it out to other practitioners. But I'm comfortable with technology. So I would say that's what I am. Like I'm like the clearinghouse to like get other people's products and services in tech out to the world.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head back here because I think also as a business owner and the face of a business, a face of an event, it's important to understand various aspects of it, but you don't have to be an expert in all of it. But when that fear shows up, then we sort of just close off and and we're doing ourselves a disservice. So I'm going to bring your website back up. I'd love to dive into the actual event. So for somebody who's watching and they're thinking, you know what, this sounds like a great event. I'm going to pay the $9.99. Is that what it is? $9.99?
Yeah, $9.99 in dollars to purchase last year's, and you can see, and it's loaded with really valuable content.
Okay, so let's go on to this year. I'm going to come back up to the top and let me just take down your banner. Okay, so let's go through this. It's WellTech World Summit and it's November 2024. I see event waitlist. So this is already sold out.
No, join the waitlist just to hear about what's going on. So we're not sold out yet because we haven't started selling tickets yet, which we will.
Okay.
And it's just the waitlist for information. It's really our mailing list. And so to hear more about it. And again, we're going to start tickets on sale in February. We're just a few more little things we have to lock down before we can start doing that. We will offer a regular ticket, which will be the full day of morning panels, afternoon panels, lunch, and access to the exhibitors hall, and then any of the group meditation and yoga that we're doing. And then we have a second tier ticket, which is everything I just mentioned, plus access to the VIP cocktail events. There'll be a limited number of those tickets. We will be able to mingle with our speakers in our keynote. And then we will as I mentioned, we might do a completely separate ticket where you can come to the women-focused event the night before. That's kind of in the planning stages. And we're also going to offer a streaming option. So if it's not logistically feasible for you to come to London, you'll be able to stream the event.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So let's take a look at what's here again for our audio audience as well. Meet fellow industry leaders at the intersection of tech and wellness who are creating products and services your clients will love. So question, Beth, are you open to having people who would like to be presenting reach out to you, or do you already have everyone?
Yes, absolutely. If you scroll down, you'll see there's buttons for speakers and for sponsors. So it's actually for exhibitors and sponsors, but part of the sponsor package can be speaking. So if anyone is interested in speaking, they can choose either of those buttons and just explain what your interest is, and I will be happy to contact you. That goes to me directly. We're still looking for speakers. So if anyone's listening to this and you're interested in any of those 3 categories, please do go to the website and fill out the form.
And can they be a speaker remotely, or do they need to be there on site?
Yeah, you've got to be on site. Yeah,
okay.
we're not having any. We're just going to stream the event, for attendees, but we're not having any remote speakers.
Okay, there you have it. Okay, and I want to go back up here for a moment. Discover the most cutting edge wellness trends that are taking center stage in 2024 and beyond. And I think this is really key because you were mentioning the different modalities that you have expertise in. I think if people are more open to learning about these modalities, they don't even realize how it's going to impact their life in a positive way, especially the entrepreneurs who are wearing all these different hats and not taking any time for self-care.
Yeah, it's self-care to, tricks so that you can avoid burnout, but also just in a client management platform. I think that is often a problem for people who are solo practitioners or small businesses. How are you managing, what supplements you're dispensing, all the sessions that you're doing, all the information, all the pulse checks or anything that you're doing. I'm thinking like in Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, but there's a lot of info that goes into client management, and there are amazing platforms that I learned about last year in putting last year's show together. So it could be something as basic as that that's really going to help your business grow, or it could be learning about, like a device or learning about someone's podcast that you can be on. One of the beautiful things, and was one of my goals, when I started this, was, there are people who were on panels together last year who have now been on each other's podcasts or are collaborating on products. And that was always the goal. It was about people getting together and collaborating, not just, attendees learning about new products and services, but the actual people who were showing up to speak, working together.
I absolutely love what you just shared, and I want to dig into that a little bit, and then we'll come back to your website. So I'm all about collaborations and introducing people to one another, but there are people out there who do not feel that way. And I've been told a few times, don't touch my client. In other words, if I send somebody to you for an interview, don't reach out to them afterwards because they're my client. Like, oh, I didn't know you could own a client like that. And so I don't agree with that. Do as many podcasts as you want, as many broadcasts as you want, be as many places. So what do you think is the underpinning of people who think that they own their client and no one else can actually have access to them?
I think it's just total insecurity, or it's a feeling of insecurity about what they're putting out there and how they're connecting with people. But I also think it's some people just never feel, they feel underappreciated, or they feel like they should be the connector. I don't know. I feel like I've come across that a lot, but I've become across it less and less. I'm in a bunch of networking groups. I mean, I'm in a few kind of international WhatsApp groups. And sometimes it's just, people, you can lose yourself in 9 million different conversations, but they also have been really, really helpful at connecting me to like-minded people. And the people who have started the groups are super generous at connecting, especially about this event. Like, there are people in my world who've been like, you should meet this person, and told that person they should get in touch with me. And it's been really fruitful. And they get real appreciation and excitement the way I do when the people we've brought together make something together. Like, it really proves the value of connection, and it really speaks to how technology makes our lives better. But because of technology, we can Zoom, we can do what we're doing right now, and we can connect to amazing people who will enhance our businesses, maybe enhance our personal lives. So that's the beauty of tech. And I feel kind of sad for people who don't see it that way. I don't know what's lacking in their lives in another way that they would feel that way.
I agree with you. And I'm thinking, just like you, when I see that someone I introduced is now with somebody else doing something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's like, I don't have any children, but I feel like it's like having a child, like giving birth. You feel the same?
Yeah, I don't have children either, by choice. And I feel the same way. Like, I'm like, oh, that's so exciting. Like, I had this incredible menopause panel, and it happens to be all women last year, and they have all, like, the chat before and after we recorded the session was like, people were so excited to see like what they were doing that was similar, and what they could learn from each other, particularly because that panel spans 3 different countries. And they were really learning and excited to see what their sister was doing in another country.
I just love it. I just love it. So keep doing what you're doing, because your creative heart is not just opened, it's exploded. It's just amazing. So I want to go back to your website, and I want to talk a little bit more about all that you're offering, because it truly looks like it's going to be an incredible event. What will be the determination for you about whether or not you feel the event is the success that you want it to be? What are some of those variables or those factors?
Um, if I don't end up in a negative financial position, um, personally, but honestly, it's kind of exactly what we were just talking about. Like, number one, that people end up being on each other's podcasts, being on each other's TV shows, working together, creating products together. And also that people walk away going, oh my God, like, I've been having X problem for ages, or my clients have been having X problems for ages, and I have been struggling to really properly help them to, my particular modality, my particular company, my service, my whatever, my product. It has been helpful to them, but we need more. And I just learned about something that could really enhance the work that I do. Like, that to me is a success. And people really wanting to come back next time. I mean, the ultimate goal for the brand is to have like the big events, like the big, like all day events probably in London going forward. But then in addition to that, doing small kind of a roadshow, doing kind of small events, targeted events in different areas, looking at different aspects of technology and wellness. And so, it's a full, we're already developing the calendar. Like, we have a full like slate of like things that we want to focus on, and the tech that's available to people. And so I'd love it if people were like, this is so exciting, I'm coming to the London show, but I see you're also showing up in New York, and, I live in New York, or I'm traveling to New York. I'll definitely go to that. Or I'll tell my friends in New York, and, oh, I'm going to tune into your forthcoming podcast. And the hope also eventually is to be kind of a marketplace on the website where we're actually selling, some of our exhibitors' products. So, if people go to the site because they learned about a new product and they're purchasing it, that's a win for everybody.
Absolutely. You've got an incredible passion, and I just know all of it's going to happen for you. So we still have more time, but I just wanted to say, anything that I can do or we can do to help you, and maybe roadshow in the future, let's chat about it.
Yeah, I would love to. We could probably do an event together, which I would absolutely love in person. And, in supporting it, it's like, once those tickets go on sale, please, just blowing it out to your audience and really encouraging them. Again, it's not everyone can get to London, but we will be streaming. So, just reminding people, November seems far away, but when you're planning an event, November shows up like in 5 minutes, and suddenly you're like, where's the time? So we're really like in full on planning mode right now. And as we start to announce the keynotes and the other speakers, and I'm sure people get really excited, if, every time we do, if you can share that on your platforms, that would be really helpful.
Absolutely. I'm just so impressed because, Beth, I actually tried twice to put an event together for USA Global TV and Radio, but I didn't have the headspace to really focus on it because people don't realize how much of a commitment, just what you mentioned, financially, it's a huge commitment, emotionally, mentally. I mean, you're all in. So I know you're spending so much time with this event. What are you doing when you're not working on the event? What are you doing in your personal life that maybe you want to share how you get rid of your stress?
Well, thanks for asking. Try really hard to do a lot of strength training. I love my kettlebells. So that's really like a stress reliever, and also, just building up that muscular strength and health is so important. So that's a big thing that I do. I love to take long walks. I write, and I do a lot of cooking. I have kind of another brand that I've been developing that is a little in the back burner now, but I'm working on an Ayurvedic food brand. So, those are kinds of the things. I have to say this is really full on, and I wasn't doing WellTech full on last year, and I think it suffered because of it, because there was so much momentum and so many people. So I'm really trying to build on that now. And I think there's so many. I mean, it's kind of endless, the things that we can do and the services we can provide.
Great points. Thank you. So as we close out for the website, for people who are on the audio, it's welltechworldsupport.com. I'm going to spell that for you. So get your pencils or papers or keyboards ready. It's www.welltechworldsummit.com. Beth, you have written in this book, you're a contributor. Your work starts on page 118, which I'm going to show here. And in your contribution, you also shared, great picture of you. You also shared about what and who inspires you. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
So I'm really inspired by people who are kind of self-made, women who are self-made, and who are again, authentic, really unapologetically authentic. And I can't remember if I mentioned these women in the book, to be honest, but the women that really, really inspire me, so I hope I'm being consistent, people like Marianne Williamson and Mel Robbins, Glennon Doyle, Marie Forleo, who have really forged paths in their businesses and have their brand is their authentic selves. And they're really, really candid. And I think I've learned a lot from them and their strength in being candid about my journey, the things that I've overcome. So I think, they've also created these incredibly strong communities because they're so brilliant at what they do and because they're so themselves. So, just taking Marie Forleo's B school class, for example, which is a really high level, it's almost like getting an MBA. I've met other people, other entrepreneurs, because, and we're so excited to connect. And the same thing for people who, follow Mel Robbins and are on her podcast. The community is so strong, and it's the same, good, authentic, wanting to help each other out and hold each other up and support each other's businesses, promote each other's businesses. And I think that's really what inspires me.
And you hit the nail on the head. You got them all. So So good job.
Consistency.
I can think of you. I can relax now. Beth, we have your LinkedIn pulled up. So I just want to bring that up as well, because that's a great way for people to connect with you. Let me just take down your banner here. So here we see you over on LinkedIn. And again, you are the founder of WellTech World Summit. And tell us about this, the founder of Shanghai Enterprises.
Oh, so it's Sangha, which is
Sorry,
yeah,
yes, Shanghai.
That's the excuse me, Sanskrit word for community. So that's kind of the Ayurveda brand. So in Sangha, like, I haven't been doing this as much lately, but you can go to my website, which is healthysangha, Sangha.com. And, you can book a consultation with me. I don't really do much in person. I really do lifestyle counseling and dietary counseling remotely. And I'm also working on kind of a fusion brand. I am of Eastern European Jewish heritage. I come from a family that owned bakeries, and there's a lot of cooking and baking in my family. So I've been working on a line of products that are kind of a fusion of kind of traditional Eastern European Jewish foods, like fused with Ayurvedic herbs to make them a bit healthier.
It's so exciting. Will we see you on Shark Tank? I think they're in New York in May. I think I saw that at the Javits Center.
Talk about fear. Like, I would be trembling to be on that show.
Well, you certainly have cut a path, and you are certainly someone who is really a role model. And I'm just so grateful that you came here to share with us today. What haven't I asked you that you'd like to share with our audience?
I don't know. To be honest, I feel like you've been such a great interviewer that, you've really covered it. And I really appreciate the support and the promotion of the events. I hope that you're going to make it to the UK, and we can talk. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Is there something you haven't asked me yet that you'd like to ask?
No, I think we've covered a lot. We talked about the event. We talked about your early career. We talked about your creative heart awakening. And I just want people to realize, I know many times we feel like we are by ourselves because we physically are. I'm by myself a lot, but I'm really not by myself. But if we go down that path and we buy into it, yeah, we're going to be in a dark place. But you have come here today and you have shared part of your story to inspire other people. And I really admire that. So I give you a round of applause, and whatever I can do to help you. I know you shared a little bit, but we'll certainly talk off camera, because I think we have a lot in common. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Beth, and who would you like to contact you?
Yeah, again, anyone who is interested in speaking, exhibiting, or sponsoring the events, please go to WellTechWorldSummit.com, and you'll see the buttons there. Please sign or if you're interested in attending or you just want to know more, please join the mailing list. Those are the best ways to get in touch with me. You can also, if you want to get in touch with me directly, I answer all my email. It's Beth, BETH, at WellTechWorldSummit.com.
All right, Beth, thank you again for being here. And of course, we do have 39 other shows, and we welcome you on any of those that you think might be a good fit. And I'm excited to connect with you and see where we can go.
Thank you so much. This has been so fun.
Thank you. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now. Bye. And thank you for everyone who's watching or listening on the live or the replay. We truly do appreciate you. As you may know, we just celebrated our second year in business, and we're on to our third. I'm evaluating buying a company to take us to a whole nother level. So we're negotiating terms. So please do go over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and subscribe. Also, we have a brand new Instagram accounts, which the one we have now is Dr. Jacalyn, and it really makes sense to have a USA Global TV and Radio. So we have that. It's brand new. We're not able to stream to it yet. I guess you have to have the account for so long. I don't really know. But if you can go over to Instagram and follow us on USA Global TV and Radio. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, we're going to hear from some of our sponsors right now. We're truly grateful for our sponsors, and please do stay on and watch and listen wherever it is you are, because they really have something to say, and I really appreciate them for their support. First, we're going to watch the Spin District. This is where I teach spin classes, and I also teach yoga at their other location, the Strength District. Let's take a look. This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes, building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I find I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BSc.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.